So for some of you who don't know, I am the illustrious Perry James, and you're watching #Truth with Scott Larson.
Cut!
Somebody get that Zuckerberg guy on the phone. We gotta get Larson shut down.
When I see you, you're gonna know that you're a man wanted dead or alive, cause that is what I'm coming after.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to #Truth. Tonight, we have the wrestler, owner, and promoter of Strong Wrestling, or Strong Championship Wrestling. I'll get it right, man. You can slap me later. We've already been in the ring. We've punched each other. I mean, it's all good, right?
Yeah, we've already went down it. How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. So, Strong Championship Wrestling. You are now the owner and promoter of that. Let's kick it right off with, how'd you get a hold of that company?
It basically come down to the original owners with COVID hitting, Daniel Strong and his wife just having limited places where they were able to run, and it just kind of, I guess, became a financial burden for them, and it's just been one of them things. He was like, I've always told you since day one, if I got the opportunity or if I had to sell it, I'd come to you. And in all honesty, as soon as he gave us the offer, Avril went on TikTok and she started making TikTok lives about it. And we happened to come across, I guess, an investor, you would say. And
right.
He sent us some money and was like, this is what I'd like to see from it. And that's where we told him we kind of be the outreach program. And he sent us the money for it and kind of picked it up. And so far, it's doing well.
Well, I'm going to ask you about the outreach part of your answer right there in just a second. But, man, it is lighting up. I'm going to have to do we're going to go through about 15 minutes of intros here, man. So here we go. Smiley Feel Good. Nice intro. Love it. Thank you. Just had that done today. Oh, there we go. What's up, man? Doc Payne. Jack Morgan. How you doing, man? The Bassmaster. Josh Twesner. Hey, guys. Hope you all are doing well. Dale. There you go. Dale the Crusher. Jack Postel. Jack, we miss you at the wrestling shows, bro. I know you're probably working, but we miss your chance, man. I ain't going to lie to you.
We actually had him. He showed up on the 9th, believe it or not, him and the megaphone all in there.
Right? It's always a great thing when Jack shows up and
it was definitely
was weak. Everybody just wants to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I started doing it at shows now. Luke Fury said, Ryker, what's up, my boy?
What's up, Fury?
Jordan Payne of No Pain, No Gain Wrestling Podcast. What's going on?
How's it going?
Odell Lowe said hi. Man, I'm telling you, I told you we're going to go through 15 minutes of this. Aftershock, SCW for life. There you go.
There you go.
Bryce Cannon wants to know, where is the promotion at?
North Carolina. We're located currently right now out of, I guess, Kannapolis, Concord area, and kind of just run around the North Carolina area from Wagram, Aberdeen.
There you go. Odell Lowe says Ryker is your savior. Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into all the old times, the good times. We're definitely going to get into that.
Oh,
Big country. Uh-oh.
How's it
I
going?
love it. Smiley Feelgood says, I'm going to be the second Strong Championship Wrestling champion and run the place because I'm Smiley and do whatever I want, how I want, and when I want. Thanks, Smiley. You write a better promo than you do, brother. I'm just saying.
Well, he don't have to deal with the fans. You know, when he's out there dealing with all the fans, having to deal with the body odors from them and everything, it kind of makes him stutter a little bit, lose focus. So he can be the keyboard warrior.
Right? Wade said, man, I missed this. I missed all you guys, and I know Ryker's going to have fun tonight. We're already having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Ringsiders, hello and good evening from Nevada.
How's it going?
Gary Conway. There you go. Big time. Bobby Gardner said good evening. Oh, I'm almost done. I'm almost there.
Oh, yeah. You're
Caitlin said missed you. We missed all you guys too. What's that?
I said it's about time to get hashtag back on there full throttle again, you know?
Yeah, man. I missed it. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The last 2-3 days, I was like fidgeting. I was like, man, I gotta go live. It's like crack to me. You know what I'm saying? I love this show.
Oh yeah. It's entertaining to watch. Is always, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Always
right.
something
Without a doubt
to pop up.
So a little while ago, I asked you about your new promotion, Strong. Well, it's not a new promotion, but you took over Strong Championship Wrestling. Yeah. And you said that you have a silent partner that came in, helped you, paid for, getting the company, and he put a stipulation on it. Tell everybody about that stipulation and what it means to you.
Well, basically for us, and like we said, what we were trying to go over with him, and one of the things he wanted to see is for these underprivileged communities, underprivileged teens, people that are disabled mentally or physically that haven't really had opportunities or haven't had chances, or these communities that don't really get a second look, is for us to, kind of be that company or be that place to be able to help keep people off the street, keep them off of drugs, or keep them off of whatever they're going through, help them through rough times, along with reaching back to the communities. Trying to help improve things where they would need struggling, especially during the times of COVID, with a lot of the local businesses that are shut down and people have lost a lot of jobs. We want to kind of try to give back and support to that, as well as giving these people that get overlooked by, not having enough training, where we want to get these guys in here, get them trained, get them better, get them where they need to be so they can start getting better looks. Or these guys that have given up because other companies or promoters have given up on them. We want to, get them in here and show them, hey, we're not giving up on you. Just you put forth the effort and you try and, see where things could go.
Right.
Just something that and the guy that's, sponsoring us and invested into it, he's really passionate because he has like autistic children, stuff like that. So he's, he's like, if you guys are willing to go back out, with we're trying to set up some meet and greets for little children's hospitals or for like the old folks homes and stuff like that, where we get some guys go out, sign autographs, stuff like that, any kind of way that we can kind of give back. That's one of
my cousin Lori said that's awesome. She loves everything that you're saying. That's pretty cool.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Jason
says Ryker rules. They're all saying this while you're describing. You rock,
I
right?
Appreciate it.
You're getting a lot. So being in the hot seat, I got to ask the hard questions too. What do you say to those people out there who look at your show and they're like, well, these guys aren't good wrestlers, they're not trained very well, you're gonna have a horrible show doing what you're doing? What do you say to those guys?
I mean, basically with them guys, a lot of them, now that we've got the first show underway, I can always tell them, they can go back and watch the footage for one if they need the proof. But to those guys, they're the reason a lot of these guys are where they're at. And I put the blame not on all of them and not solely on them, but they're the guys that, they're the ones that think, oh, these guys are trash wrestlers, they're not going to go anywhere. Well, you're not giving them an opportunity, or you're not investing any time into them because you think they're a trash wrestler. They may have a certain reason why they can't learn a certain way like somebody else. And it's just about, you're not going to take the time in them, then I'll take the time into them and I'll turn them into something. And I mean,
right.
I know at that point it's not the same with everybody, because you have some people that they can be doing it for years and years and they'll be stuck at the same level, and it's just one of them things. But at that time,
right.
You still can't give up on everybody.
No, without a doubt. I agree with that 100%. Aftershock said workers helping workers and the public. That's what we have been missing. So he agrees 100% with what you're doing. Daniel says, I love you, Scott. I love you guys too. Thank you.
We all love you, Scott. We all do.
Wow. Jordan Payne said, that's awesome. You're getting a lot of compliments. Who cares what people say, as long as the fans and wrestling and they're having fun, and that's all that matters. And it is. It really is.
That's true, and that's another thing that we were kind of big on, and we tried to show it at the first show a lot too. Is trying to be big with fan interaction. Letting them get in the ring, take pictures at intermission, doing the raffles that we did during intermission, and we even had a couple workers whose birthday it was, so we got the fans involved with their birthday, and then at the end of the night, even let them get pictures with the new tag champions, Black Society, and a few of the workers that they wanted to, just to kind of show you got to be active with your crowds. You got to be active with your fans, and you got to show them that you're there for them, just like you want them to be there to support you when they're buying the ticket.
Right. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about my uprise versus your old desolation. I know it's all gone, but we're going to talk about the memories. It was some fun times. So we're definitely going to talk about that. We'll be right back after this word from XWW.
You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn their spirits, not enemies. He said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
There you go. You turned sideways on me for a second there, but that's good. You're back.
Yeah, my camera got a little sideways on me.
You're good, man. Hey, it wouldn't be hashtag truth if we didn't have some kind of complication tonight. You know what I'm saying? If that's the worst we have, we're doing really good. So there was a time when you were wrestling for another company. We'll leave the company nameless. And you were big time. You were the leader of a faction called Desolation. You were running roughshod through. You were running roughshod through the whole thing. You guys were doing good. And then I had the idea of bringing some babies along and going up against you. We called ourselves the Uprise. Oh man, we had some good times with that.
Oh yeah.
What did you feel? How did you feel when all that was going down?
I mean, that, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably one of the funnest times. It was great being out there with everybody. And probably one of the best moments was when Odell hit you with the chain, knocked you down there, and catching all those young guys you were bringing in.
My wife didn't think so, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and probably getting them guys with those selfies of shames as much as we could. And I mean, I know a lot of people, probably some other people's favorite moments was probably the time when you got to jack my chin a little bit. You got to take your little cheap shot.
Now I got to admit, I was shocked, man. I came into the ring. One of the few times I'll ever get in the ring. The last time I got in the ring, I broke my toe, but we're not going to talk about that. But I got in the ring that night, and I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting to come in and do a promo against you. I look across, and you know how wrestling works. Everybody, I don't have to pull the fourth wall off. Ryker looks over at me, and he goes, "Hit me." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Hit me." And so
Yeah.
you stuck your hand out like you wanted to shake my hand. So I thought you meant, hit the hand away. So I knocked your hand away the first time, and you're like, no, hit me. And I was like, oh, you want me to punch you? Okay. Boom. And you flipped like 3 times backwards. You made me look so good, but
oh yeah. And they loved it. The way they were, it's just at that moment with everything, you could kind of tell it was one of the things. The crowd they were eating it up. They wanted to see it. There was no way I think it could have played out better for either one of us. It was just, yeah, Scott's got to hit you in the mouth. You've been talking so much trash online. You've been talking trash to his face, to his group.
Right.
He's got to pop you in the mouth. And it was just, that's probably one of the, like I said, that's one of the most memorable right there, other than the awesome war games that we had. But, that right there was a great one.
Who knows? Maybe Uprise will find their way to SCW someday. Never know.
Yeah, never know. It could have anything could happen in wrestling. That's the beauty of it. That's why I love it. It's just anything happens. Never say never.
Right. So yeah, you were talking about when Odell hit me in the back with the chain. Now,
oh yeah,
that was something. Again, that was another spur of the moment thing. I came out. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was managing Luke Christian. Was in the match for Uprise at that time, and I went out there, and Odell come up to me during the match. I've told this story plenty of times, but Odell comes up to me during the match, and he's like, dude, I wish I could hit you. And I was like, I don't think so, man. I just don't think so. So he walks around the ring, doing his thing, and I got to thinking about it, and I was like, man, I said, I got to find out who's going to win this match, because this might be the chance for, you guys to get your selfie of shame. It would be perfect. We had a pretty big crowd out there for that show that day. Oh, yeah. And it was like, yeah, why not? So he come back around, and I was like, is your boy going over? I asked Odell, and he goes, yeah, my boy's going over. And I said, well, when he gets to 3 count, I'm going to slam my hand on the mat. I'm going to turn around. And when I do that, you nail me. And he's like, you'll never even feel it. Just go down. And sure enough, it looked real as all get out. It looked like he nailed me with the chain, and I just went down in a heap. I just fell flat on my face.
It was definitely. It had my jaw dropped as I honestly. Now I was like, oh man, he really got him. I was like, I didn't think it would happen, but it happened.
Never touched me. He never touched me, but it looked really good.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't get. Odell, he's a big guy, and if he makes some contact with you, it can hurt. He's probably one of the most gentle guys that I've been in the ring with. I've seen some stiff matches out of him, but he's also been in the matches with them guys that are just as tight and stiff back, them old school type of guys.
Right.
They're going to make connection. But he's probably been one of the safest workers I've had the pleasure of being in the ring with.
Right, right.
And that's right there. It's one of them things. I mean, you're proof for it. He hit in the back with a chain. He didn't feel it. All you had to do was go down.
Joshua Tesner said there's still a lot of people that want to hit you, Scott. Yeah, well, if the truth hurts, I'll just say it. If the truth hurts. Jordan Payne said Jake Jacobs versus Ryker would be an awesome match. I agree with that, man. I agree with that.
Definitely could be.
That would be pretty cool. Now, as of right now, do you have a show in the works? Are you working on something, or?
Yeah, as of right now, we're trying to currently work out something. I was originally planning on trying to run the show to finish up the tournament again in Lincolnton. Still trying to work on that. Still trying to work something out with Thomas Scott on that. But in case that falls through, you know what I'm saying? You always got to have backup plans. So we're trying to finish up the tournament. It could be a little bit closer over here towards Kannapolis. But it'll probably be, we'll end up getting to the second show and finishing our tournament towards the end of February, probably February 20th, something like that.
Okay.
So definitely trying to get it out there, because I've had a lot of people that I've never met or even talked to that are just fan-wise, not necessarily just worker-wise, that have actually been messaging us, been popping up in our request and everything, wanting to know when the next show is and if they can go ahead and reserve seats. There was a show a couple weeks ago that ran on a Saturday at the Center Arena out there, and we literally had people hitting us up trying to buy tickets for the show because they thought it was ours. And I was like, no, that's not us. We won't be back there for a while, but definitely if you want some tickets, here's the information. You guys still need to go check out the show.
Right.
So we're trying to get everything up and running and get the second one out there as fast as possible because, like I said, it's been a lot of people asking for it.
Odell Lowe said it needs to happen in the Lincolnton Center Arena.
That is honestly, that's my preference where I would like to happen. I mean, it was just, we had a great turnout there. And, you know, I think we could have the same thing continue to pull out of there, especially trying to finish up this tournament, because that's been the main question.
I mean, the tag team titles were awarded at that show. I did get to see the show. You sent me the show. I'll put it out there for everybody. You sent me the show. I got to watch the whole thing. And of course, you know, tell us about the new tag team champions.
Yeah, that right there, Black Society. Like I said, that's one of the teams that's probably one of the most deserving. And a lot of places, I guess, they're starting to see it now because, you know, that reaction that they got from the crowd throughout the entire night being out there was just phenomenal. And then when they've got that 3 count, you know, it was right there. It's like, you know, there's no better decision than that's your team. And I can go ahead and tell a lot of tag teams that are out there, 2021, Black Society is going to be the tag team to beat. You know, they've probably been considered one of the most underrated tag teams by a lot of people that I've talked to. But both of them, Ryan Mantis and Lazarus Black, them two together, they're pretty much unstoppable, especially on their best day, you know. So anyone coming to them would definitely have to bring their A game to them this year.
Right, without a doubt. And it was a fun match, man. That match was a lot of fun. I'm going to do the clip reel after a while from that show that I made, and we're gonna see that. And one of the clips in it is Ryan picking up Lazarus and dropping him down on Aftershock. And one of their patented moves they do.
Oh, that match there, like I said, everything leading up to the main event. Of course, running every show is stressful, but throughout the night, it was stressful. Wanting everything to play off perfect for that, and like I said, just all 6 of them guys that were in that ring, just they had great chemistry together, and just the match was an awesome match all the way to the end. Especially when Ryan Mantis caught Tyler Storm with a black hole slam as Lazarus is picking up the 3 count. It's just, I mean, and I got to give props to Darius, the referee there. Did not stop counting, kept on all the way through. Counted it through for him. And it just, you know, it's one of them where everything just seemed to click for everybody that night, and especially for Black Society. As everybody could see, they walked away to champs, you know. Right.
I mean, it was a great match all the way through. We have got a lot of people talking, man. This is great. No, there's nothing. Jonathan says you say more times than anybody can count. I don't know if you realize. Smiley says just because you have a podcast with truth in it doesn't mean you will be talking the truth. Okay, I got you, Smiley. I got you. Gary Conway says I'm calling out Ryker and Averill for a cage match.
Conway, I don't think that's something that you're ready for. I mean, honestly, I don't think that's something you could take. I mean, there's a couple guys out there, Devin Reed. I mean, even my former partner, Odell Lowe, will tell you. I mean, even the man on the interview right now, Scott Larson, he can tell you that might be a little more than you can handle.
Oh, man. You're going to put me in the middle of this. Now, I'd love to see a match like that, man. Book it. I would love to see that, man. Gary Conway and his wrestling organization is going to be coming down in March at the Center Arena to bring Rapid Wrestling down here from Ohio, and that's going to be pretty cool. I believe they've also are they booking you guys to go up there?
Yes, sir. They're trying to get a few of us to go up there and work. That's what I say, Conway, you want a cage match, just give me a date and a time, brother, and I'll be there.
Oh, boy, that's what I'm talking about right there. Well, we're going to have a quick message right here. We're going to do a couple of promos for XCW. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about your valet that comes out to the ring with you. Yes, we're going to talk about Averill for a little while. You knew I had to bring her up. So
Oh
there's
yeah.
Avril. Well,
Avril,
tomato.
A couple people have tried to call her Advil a few times. We've had to fix them, so April's not bad. It's a lot closer than Advil.
There you go. All right, we will be right back.
We're going to make this short and sweet. January 31st, the Disciples of Chaos, the Black Society, the Terror Kings, and High Profile, in a fatal four-way for the Excalibur Tag Team titles.
Lazarus. Remember the last two times we met? Concussion City, brother. As for anybody else that's in this match, remember one damn thing. Thomas Graham was here.
And if you don't like that, do something about it.
Hi, High Profile here. Guess where we're standing right now? Oh, snap!
It's a Waffle House.
It's a Waffle House!
Imagine that.
And look, you called it first, so that's one score for you.
I did.
So, we were just talking about our match this Sunday in Lincolnton, North Carolina at Center Arena for Excalibur Championship Wrestling. You know what kind of match we're having, Shay? Guess what kind of match we're having? What
kind of a match, Junior?
We're having a four-way elimination tag team match for the Excalibur Tag Team Championships.
Wow, but with who, Junior?
With who? With who? Who can we do? Who?
The Disciples of Pain, the Terror Kings, the Black Society, and who else?
Yours truly.
Your boys, High Profile.
And there is a lot of great tag teams, a lot of big men in this tag team match, but I want to tell you one thing right now. High Profile will become the new Excalibur Tag Team Champions. And that is over easy.
There you go. Big time.
Oh, yeah.
XCW having their tag team championship tournament. Or not tournament, but it's a fatal four-way elimination match.
I'm not going to throw it in there. Everyone got to see how dominant Black Society was coming after the SCW tag titles. So the Excalibur tag titles and everyone in that match, they best know, don't matter what the history has been with them, they're coming for the gold. I see it this year for Black Society. That's going to be one of the tag teams every company to go to, they're going to dominate.
Speaking of XCW, Gary Conway couldn't beat Ryker on his best day. There you go. Compliment right there.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Jamie said, Ryker, I want my cage match. Boy, everybody's wanting you in the cage, man.
Yeah, right. They want to take a little, trip to Ryker's lockdown.
There you go. Doc Payne says, I got Conway, not the man you once knew. Payne is in the house.
Doc Payne.
Jonathan said, got to build up those big gimmick matches. Can't just have them. Well, what do wrestling fans do? I'll say this about, wrestling fans. I'm the voice of them. We like to talk about the big matches. Yeah, we like to see the build, but we want to see the big match at the end. So we're talking about something at the end of a, rivalry, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Wolf said, hello, Scott and Ryker.
How's it going, Ben?
Josh Tesner said, Ryker in a cage match? Take my money, please.
There we go. A lot of people want to see it.
Aftershock said, I look for Hope High Profile or TBS to take it. Okay. And James said, Jay Stunner belongs in a dog kennel. I don't know what that's talking about, but we'll just let that one
fly. Jesus. I tell you what, the comments are live. Like they're full of them tonight.
Right? So we're going to get right into your valet. Let's talk a little bit about her. Tell us how you met her, what she does for you ringside, what she does for you outside the ring. This is your time to speak highly of I'm not even
lovely
going to say a
Aberrant
name because I'll mess it up.
We met 3 years ago. We had actually met online and everything, and we met and just we kind of clicked, and we really hadn't spent too much time apart since then, at all, really. And then she really, through her TikTok and stuff, is what got me kind of back into talking to some people in wrestling. Met back up with Andy, Odell Lowe, and a few other guys. And, she's kind of, like I said, she's been the backbone and the main support to anything I've wanted to do, whether it's wrestle or just like going and trying to run SCW. And it's like, hey, let's buy this. She's been the main backbone of support for it. She helps market everything. She helps get everything advertised. She's real big on trying to reach out to a bunch of people, and just trying to get the name out there, trying to get our name out there as much as she can. And she loves to show support for a lot of things like that. And she couldn't be one of the sweetest girls. And I know in the ring, and on camera, everybody can see her running around.
Yeah, a lot of people might say something differently about her, being out there at the ring. You turn the referee's back, and she's not so sweet anymore.
Yeah, but that's just her doing her job. You know what I'm saying? To make sure her man comes away with the W, and 9 times out of 10 it works. That's one of them things. You just tell her, "Hey, get them," and she's on it. That comes back to her being supportive.
She comes out with that hammer. That's the thing I want to talk about for a little bit. How many times? We're going to talk outside of wrestling now. How many times have you gotten out of line and gotten that hammer?
I've gotten it quite a few times for it. I've gotten a little worse than the hammer from her too. There's nothing. And one of the greatest things is when she tries to stand up, or if we do start to have a little argument or something, I got to watch out for my feet. She'll definitely stomp on my toes.
Right.
So I got to watch out for her. But yeah,
Gary Conway said, Scott Larson, come to Cleveland, Ohio. Watch me kick Ryker in April's in Ohio. Show him who the man is. Wow. I'm telling you, he's ready.
He talks ready. He talks ready behind that keyboard. That's a different story when I'm face to face, and we all know that.
Ben Wolf says Ryker owes me a rematch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did. At once upon a time, there was the referee, Ben Wolf versus Ryker. I don't think that ended too well for him. I don't think he'd want a rematch.
Smiley said, don't bother Avril. She's too busy watching Law and Order.
Yes, that is one of her favorite shows. Law and Order that's number one. But I tell you what, hey, honestly, if it wasn't for her, none of this with me would be possible at all right now at all. She's really has been the number one fan, number one supporter, and I mean, how many other guys as fiancés or wives you're gonna look at them and be like, hey, so the guy we wrestle for wants to sell his promotion and wants to sell it to us before he asks anybody else. And, she goes out and she's like, well, we need to find some sponsors. We need to find some investors. We need to figure out a way to get a loan. So we need to get it. And I mean,
she didn't hesitate. She just jumped right in, didn't she?
Yeah, just, she was like, this is something that you've wanted to do. This is your dream. You're passionate about it. She was like, and, I'm going to get behind you 100%, support it. And I mean, not a lot of people can say that they have that, it'll start off that way, but sometimes it just doesn't always end as nice, and we struggle.
Hey, I'll admit it. It took my wife a little while to warm up to hashtag truth.
well, especially coming from her, because, like I said, when me and her first met, she did not like wrestling at all. And, it was one of the things that kind of just slowly grew. And then once she got to see me wrestle in my first, she got to see it, she's like, oh, well, this is something I could get behind. And it's something I see that you really are passionate about.
Right.
And like I said, I'm lucky as hell to have her for that, lucky as hell to have her in my life at all.
Now I'm going to ask you the same question I ask a lot of other wrestlers, man. I've seen you wrestle in many places. Where's your favorite place to wrestle? Where's that one place that you would, outside of your own organization, of course, I know, Strong is now your home, but when you're the wrestler Ryker, where is your favorite place to wrestle?
To be honest with you, Dirty South Championship Wrestling down in Supply, North Carolina. That was a really fun. The crowd was very energetic every time I went out there. It's one of them things like the locker room's great. Everyone's willing to help you. And the fact that when you go out there and it don't matter if it's 20 people, 30 people, 50 people out there in that crowd, they're live and they're on it. They're on who they're supposed to be on and who they're not. And it's great. And then a place that I'm actually going to be making my return debut at February 6th, Adrenaline Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
That one, it's, that was one of the places that gave me my start. And like I said, it comes back down to that crowd. It's always been one of them places, doesn't matter how many people they got.
Right.
The crowd's on them, the crowd's live. And it's just, they've been one of my favorite places.
Now I'm going to get to, there's a lot of people asking a lot of questions, so I'm going to throw some of them questions up here.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get to them.
But well, wait a minute. I got to ask you one myself because I've always been curious. And even as many times as we've talked, even outside of my show, I've never asked you this and I've always wanted to. So I'm going to put you on the spot right here. When you first started wrestling, you had a gimmick, or it might still be your gimmick, where you come out like face painted like the Crow, dude. You look just like the Crow. Yeah. And I've seen you do, some of your promos like that. You had one promo where you had the SCW, I think it was the Middle Heavyweight Championship, and you're walking through the breezeway and you're telling everybody like, hey, I'm the champion. You can't be the champ. Let's go over here to the snack table. Let's see what they give the champion. And you pick up some cookies or something and you throw them down. Yeah, it was a great promo. Tell me a little bit about that part of your gimmick.
That was just, there was something, like I said, when we were first going into it, and I was talking with Daniel Strong and a guy named Osgard over the gimmick. There's the personality I had at the time for him. They're like, yeah, you're cocky and arrogant, but you remind me a little bit of Bruce Lee and a little bit of the old school Jack Nicholson Joker a little bit. So it was something of trying to combine them two together. And Strong just really liked the look of it behind it. And the night of the promo the promo you're talking about, that's the night I actually won that championship. That was the first time winning it, first championship I'd won.
Right.
And that was actually a year, 2 days ago was a year.
Right.
And
my favorite part of that promo was I think there was a couple of wrestlers just sitting in the hallway on the floor, and you turned and you're like, yeah, they wanted it, but they couldn't get it either. Something like that. And I was just dying, dude. I was laughing so hard.
Well, we went through it and they were talking about wanting to try to do some things different with promos. And I was like, well, we don't have any promos of anybody doing anything backstage. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, let's get a few guys. Let's line them up in the hallways. We've got this snack table that's for everybody in the locker room. I'll run down the hallway. I just won the title and I'll just run down everybody in the locker room. And then I'll get to the snack table and go off about it, because a couple weeks prior, we had put out videos and I was doing we were doing a Welcome to Rikers Island TV type segment promo with AJ Myers.
Right.
And the chair they had given me, when I went to sit on it, broke right as we started filming. So I went off on that promo about how management didn't care about their top stars and stuff like that. And I seen the snack table and I was like, oh, we can just go with this. We'll just run with this. Like, you don't care. Right. You're trying to give me cookies. Like, you're trying to give me unhealthy stuff, or you're trying to give me these little protein bars that you think I need. Right. Like, no, I'm the champ. Like, I'm the one that walked away with the belt.
And just before that, you walked up to somebody just sitting on the wall, and you're like, who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Yes. You're never going to get this. The whole promo just cracked me up, dude. It was great.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. Going through that, I was like, if you guys don't mind, I was like, I don't want to try to bury you guys or anything, but you don't mind, I'm just run in and I'm act arrogant and cocky as hell. I was like, and the guys actually said it to was No Chill Nate Roberts. Was a good friend and everything. And I come up to him, I was like, I'm gonna just look at you like, what is your name? Who are you? It doesn't matter because you're not the champ. You didn't walk away with this belt. So it was definitely entertaining and fun. It was great.
Dale said, I'll provide Ryker the private filming location if he finds a cage to put around the ring. They really want you and Gary Conway, man, in that ring, man.
They really do. I think it's just the love of missing seeing Ryker in the ring.
Right? Oh, here's the story. James wants me to ask you about the time you broke her hammer.
Yeah, that did happen. I went to go smack HP with it. She wasn't too happy about that one. She didn't realize it at first either. That was the great thing, is I tried to hide it, and then I think somebody had fixed it backstage and brought it in there and was like, "Oh, Ryker, I fixed Avril's hammer where you broke it in the ring," and it was over there. That was it. Yeah, so I almost got away with it. Almost got away with it.
Justin said, How you doing?
I've been doing good, Justin. How you been doing, brother?
My daughter wants to know, how did it feel when I punched you in the face? she's coming in late.
It felt great. You've seen how many times I flipped when he did it.
Oh yeah.
Back to Justin there. That's another guy. Everybody watching and commenting. Like I said, February 6th, I'll be making my return debut to Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. Definitely go out there and check Big Tad out. Definitely one to keep an eye on and watch.
Right.
Like I say, he's been a star since he started.
My dad's watching. He's giving you a compliment. He said, great to see someone come on and talk wrestling and not be bragging and threatening everyone.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do on here. We're supposed to get on here and talk wrestling and talk the truth about wrestling. That's right.
This is a loaded question, but Jack Postel wants to know, who is your most annoying fan?
I could all of them.
All of them? Wow. That is a true heel answer right there. That is a true answer.
But Jack knows he's my number one deep down. Him and his megaphone.
Ben Wolf said, you're lucky that I fixed the hammer that night for you. So it was Ben who did the fixing, or tried to fix it.
He fixed it and sold me out.
Margie wants to know, have you ever wrestled against Raven?
No, I haven't. Be one to wrestle again.
Jack Postel said Big Tat versus Ryker. That would be a great match.
It would. It really would be. I know Big Tat's got the size and he's got some speed to him, but I think I could give Big Tat something that he ain't been in the ring with.
Gary said, Odell, I'm booking it. Odell versus Ryker, September. Let's go. There you go.
Oh, that's another one. A lot of people. And you know that one from history. A lot of people have been wanting that one for a long time too. They've always wanted to see Odell hit me with that V up.
You better hope he doesn't, because I don't think I've seen anybody get up from the from his B dub.
It's truly one and done, just like he says it. And I mean, even from the first time when we did this, for my first time being on the show, we had people commenting on there for him to come on, take out Ryker, turn on Ryker.
Right. James said XCW, GPW, SCW, NAWA. Someone booked this.
Oh man, you want to talk about that right there? If you was to book all of that, that's an all weekend thing where you might as well take over like a Comic-Con. You know how much talent and how many stars would be out there on that show? I mean, just to draw in power from all of them together.
If you could book 4 shows like that, that is awesome. We actually did something like that for Christmas there at the Lincoln, at the Center Arena for the Christmas show, Solidarity. We had 4 shows and we had to put it in 2 different blocks and it was phenomenal. And wrestling fans eat that stuff up, man. If all these shows could come together, that's why I said, man, I love the territory days. I love when, if like, let's say, I believe you're the junior heavyweight champion, right?
Yes, sir.
So
yeah, still technically. Yes.
Let's say you take the junior heavyweight championship and you take it over to XCW and defend it over there at XCW like they would back in the territory days. You know what I'm saying? That to me would be a draw. I would go watch that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the things I've always got behind. Like, I know AEW is doing it, I think, with Impact right now. They're kind of doing a cross-promotion thing with them. And I think Impact's done it with New Japan a few years back. That's one of them things like I've always got into. And I think everybody has. Seeing a wrestler from another company show up at another promotion, whether it's a champion or not, and knowing that they're still working for the promotion that they just left from. Like, they're still there, they're still wrestling, but they're coming over to invade or have some matches against some of the top guys over there. It's one of them things that I've always believed it can benefit everybody. It can benefit as long as it's handled the right way.
Without a doubt.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have people that they don't know how to handle it, or they don't know how to promote it, which is not hard problems to get over. It's just, you got to get over those issues or whatever issues you have. And remember, the main goal is for the guys that are going out there in the ring and for the fans that are paying to watch those matches.
Right,
you want them guys to look good,
you gotta get the fans invested, not to throw one of my things out there, but give us something to invest in, man. If you do that, they're gonna come back. No matter what show you're running, no matter how good or how bad your wrestlers are, if you give us something to invest in, if you give us a story at least, even if the wrestling's bad, we'll at least come back to say, hey, how's this story gonna end? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons I've gotten a lot of messages about SCW and when the second show is going to be and how long it's going to be before they get to see who's going to win the title for the heavyweight tournament and everything, is because it's one of the things we planted a few seeds with a few little angles and storylines, but we didn't finish it. You guys, if you want to see it, and it's something that, if we did our job at getting you invested in it, then you'll want to see it. And I think we did a pretty decent job on getting everyone invested in the guys that were in that tournament, to the point, like I said, getting several message requests and stuff from people I've never talked to. Who's going to win it? When is the show going to be so we can see the winner? And that's some things that I think we've got to get back into North Carolina wrestling. We've got to have our fans invested. I know with COVID, I know it's hard with COVID and restrictions, but we found
with COVID and everything. Josh had a pretty good question. He said, "Will you be going live on Facebook with Strong Championship Wrestling?"
I think this time on the next show, I think we will go live with it. This first show, we tried to not go live with it. We did go live on an app that Avril has called Live Me. It's where you basically just stream live and go head to head with other people, or people can just watch you. And we had about 7,000 people viewing the show from just that app.
And I'm on that app. You told me about that. I got on that app, and I can verify you had over 7K people watch that video.
Yeah, it was one of them. So like, I sat down and talked with her. I was like, we might as well just go live with all of them. We'll sell the tickets, get out there and try to promote and advertise to get as many as we can get in. And then we'll run live for Facebook, the Live Me app, TikTok, go live on social media. Try to get as much exposure.
Exactly. Use social media as a tool, man. Everybody, I've been yelling that since the beginning of #Truth, man. Use social media as your TV if you can't get a TV deal.
Exactly. And use it as more than just sharing a flyer or sharing a promo. You know what I'm saying? You've got to use it to the full extent and full benefits on with it.
But we still want to see the flyers, and we still want to see
it. It don't mean stop it, but you got to take it to its fullest advantage. And that's one of the things for wrestling, is because of social media, we've got so many different ways we can take advantage of the market and get everything out there.
Right. Chuck, my partner and the producer of #Truth, said, "Finally made it. Better late than never. Greetings to you both."
Greetings to you, brother.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead. This is going to be our last break. We're going to show the last show for SCW. We're going to show some of the highlights in this clip right here. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the show. Here we go. There you go. Strong Championship Wrestling. Now,
only the strong will survive.
Only the strong will survive. That's it. And I love the clip of you there doing the Bray Wyatt kiss of death.
Oh, yeah. The Aries. That's a little dream DDT.
Right. I love that. That was so cool. I cut those clips out and I'm going through the matches, trying to find some spots to put on there. And I watched your match all the way through. And when that came up, I was like, yes, that's definitely a spot I'm going to put on there. Perfect. I mean, you were looking hard, Cam, the whole thing. It just looked good and boom, you nailed it. He sold it. It was a totally good move.
When we hit that spot after the match, he was like, how'd you like how I sold that DDT for you tonight? And I was like, brother, I'm not going to lie. That was probably one of the better ones I've hit. I was like, it was gorgeous. I said, we were set up perfect, right dead center of the ring.
Right. Without a doubt. Now tell me about the show and some of the guys you had at the show. Again, we're going to go back to the beginning when you were talking about, bringing everybody into the show. All the people that other shows wouldn't use and things like that. Tell us some of the wrestlers that you used during the show that that you're proud of for being at the show and giving their all.
I mean, I can go to the pre-show. I know the first two matches on the pre-show, the first match was a lot of the GPW trainees and a lot of the GPW guys like Devin Reed, Luke Christian, High Performance. Then AJ Frost, actually some American Pro Wrestling trainees that came up to take them on. And I'm not going to lie, for them guys all to be as young as they are, I was really proud on how they did during their tag match, because we know multi-man tag matches can be chaotic sometimes. It seems like they'd be one of the easiest matches because you got so many people. But that's also one of the reasons it can be a little chaotic, especially for younger guys. I'm going to say Jeff Hart, Mr. Crystal, Little Donnie, Showtime Dynamite. They showed out for their $5 title match. Did a lot better than what was expected, and I don't mean any of that in a disrespectful way of whatsoever. Right. But Jeff Hart knows that I've got onto him several times, like me and him personally. Like, I've seen some matches where he just don't try, and I've seen matches where he gives it his all, and that was one of them that he got behind. And I mean, really, all the way up to everybody in the main event between Out of Darkness, Perfect Storm, Black Society. I mean, all the guys I was proud of. To me, it was a night where I could sit back and watch it, and just even being there, in person, it was one of the things where I could truly say it looked like everybody went out there in that ring and gave it all they got and left it all out there in the ring.
Right. Right. I mean, you're going to have matches. I mean, if you're going to run and again, like you said, I'm not downing SCW, but if you're going to run, with the wrestlers and, young kids coming in like that, you're going to have some missed moves. You're going to have some botches.
Absolutely.
You're going to have, things that happen. But like you said, if they're in there, they're giving it their all, they make it a learning experience, and then they come back better. That's what it's all about, correct?
And as long as you stay with them and stay with them, training them, and don't give up on them, be like, oh, well, you had a complete trash match, or you just went out there and botched every spot, or you've got this much more you need to learn, instead of going out there and just completely shunning them or throwing them to the side and using the excuse of, well, it's constructive criticism, but just downing them without building them back up. They're going to get better. They're not going to sit there and get down and hard on themselves to where it's like they just give up or they just stop caring and be like, well, I'll just do whatever I can do. They'll continue to put forth effort and get better. And that's one of the things, like I said, we're trying to be really hard on. It's not saying that these guys are going to go out there and sell 100 tickets, but they're going to go out there and they're going to give you everything they got, and it's
right. Smiley Feel Good said, be different, but make it interesting. And Aftershock said, constructive criticism is key. And he followed that up for everyone.
It most definitely is. I mean, it works, and it does. Constructive criticism, because it's not just the workers that need to be the ones that criticize. It needs to be the promoters, the guys, booking the show, booking the talents, writing the stories, writing the angles. It goes down to everyone is open to criticism and constructive criticism.
Right.
And it's to a point, if you've got a bunch of people telling you the same thing, you've got to stop back and look and be like, well, is it me or is it them? Because if it's all the same, but like I said, there's a difference in constructive criticism versus criticism to where you're just downing the person without giving them any reason to build them back up.
Jonathan said, a semblance of the territories could be recreated. It's just getting over the egos of certain indie promoters, which would be amazing if nothing else, just in the Carolinas.
Absolutely. And he's that's one of our family members. It's my uncle. He used to wrestle. He's the buzzsaw. And he's right on it. That's another thing. And a lot of people blame the workers and say the workers like to make it about themselves, or the workers have an ego. But there's promoters out there that have just as big egos, not only about themselves, but about their promotions as well. And you do have to get over that. That's what I say. If you get shows to where you got talent doing cross promoting stuff for the other promotions, it goes over great for the fans and the workers. It gives more exposure to those guys, gets different guys in front of the crowds, because the crowd's going to get bored of seeing the same old guys every week. So you have to get new talent in. You have to get new talent trained.
Right.
It's just,
but again, one of the things that I criticize a lot of in the indie wrestling shows for is I want to see rivalries. I want to see a storyline drag
you don't want
out.
to just go to a show.
Some people call it drag out, but I want to see it go through. They don't have to wrestle every show, but
you want to see
make it known that you're still coming back for them. Do a promo and keep reminding the people, hey, one of these nights I'm going to come out on you. One of these nights I'm going to do, and that's what I want to see. I want to see a story. Give me something to invest in. The wrestling doesn't have to be. Now, I'd love to see every wrestler be phenomenal, but if the story is good, you're going to get me invested.
And you get it invested
in wrestling.
Exactly. You could, like you said, not every match has to be phenomenal. Not, but if you've got a good story and you've got some good guys telling that story and the fans get invested to it, that's one of the major things that count. Now, you do want the wrestling to be up to par with it, because that's what makes it all complete.
Right.
But yeah, you don't want to show up to a show and pay $10, pay $15, $20 to come to the show. And it's a bunch of name wrestlers and big name guys, but there's nothing going on. You're just throwing them in random matches. And I'm gonna come back and they're going to be in random matches.
We've got a lot of people throwing booking stuff at you. Jack said Big Country versus Odell. That would be one to book. Playa versus Ryker versus Austin Jordan. Book that one. Ryker versus I Am Righteous. They even want to throw you up against a manager, man.
Wow. Versus the cage. Now it's just throw him at everybody.
Right. Aftershock said Outlaw and Jailbird is the biggest rivalry in the area and has been for a while. Now I have to say, promo wise, yes, they had a string of promos
amazing
and stories.
Videos.
I just haven't seen a company that has followed it up with the wrestling, though. That's the only thing about that.
And that's the one thing it's missing is they've got a great story with the promos that they've told out. They've done a great job at putting that together. It's just having a company be able to put it together in a string of matches or into an actual angle on a show and do it the right way.
There you go, without a doubt. Well, we have just 2 minutes left in the show, so I'm going to give you this opportunity to tell everybody where to find Strong Championship Wrestling, where to find Ryker, where to find Averill, and everything else that is associated with you. So,
well, you can, like I said, Strong Championship Wrestling. We've got our Facebook page that has all the notifications of where our next show will be. It's got highlights and matches of guys that are on our roster from previous shows and promotions that they've been at, just so guys can still see some of their action until we get into our second show. You got my YouTube, Erik Ryker. You have Averill's YouTube. It's Averill Inashima. There's her TikTok. It's Averill Inashima on TikTok. It's Averill Inashima on LiveMe. We have our Instagram for Strong Championship Wrestling. Instagram for me and her both, the same as our Facebook. Basically, that's about it. So
that was a mouthful, bro. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's what I said. Try to get it all out there at once. We still have a little bit of time. But it has been great. I appreciate you having me back on the show and everything. And appreciate everybody's
with SCW running strong, man. After a couple more shows, I'd like to have you back. Tell me all about what's going on and tell me what's going to happen in the future. Yeah, man, it was great having you on. It was great reminiscing about GPW
Desolation versus Uprise. Yes,
and Desolation. That was some cool times. And like I said, you never know. Uprise might make an appearance at SCW.
That is true. Like you say in wrestling, never say never. Anything can happen in it. That's why I love the business. Anything's possible. Anything.
There you go. So I'm going to end it like this. Strong Championship Wrestling. You heard it from the man right here. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves to get better. Everybody deserves a place on the big stage. I'm definitely one of them. I'm just a small hit guy from Chesney, South Carolina, but here I am with a great podcast with a lot of people who love me and a lot of people who watch, and I want to thank every one of you. So come on out, check out the shows. Always, always, always go out and promote and love on independent wrestling in your area, including Strong Championship Wrestling, XWW, AWC, Titan Wrestling Southside, and Excalibur, among all the others. And that is the hashtag truth. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.